Hello again. Welcome to livealittlehigher.com. And today we will begin our series on Shalom Bayit, peace in the home. I want to begin by learning from the book of Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg, The Mystery of Marriage. In his book, Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg explains how marriage is connected to our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with others, and our relationship with God. In this book, we will learn how to master ourselves. When we get married, we think that we are in the marriage to change the other person. We think, oh, the day I marry him, he'll be nicer, or he won't get upset. I'm going to change him, and maybe the boy will think I'll change her. But in reality, this doesn't work. When we're focused on changing the other, it's a disaster. But when we're going to the marriage understanding what marriage is, what is the role that each of one plays in this play, then we will be able to understand what's the true meaning of marriage, love and harmony. It is not about the other really, it's about ourselves and how we connect to them. So we will begin today with the first chapter, which talks about true love and finding one's soulmate. In the first chapter, it says, the Talmud relates that it was customary in ancient Israel to ask a newlywed groom, have you found or do you find? The question refers to an apparent contradiction between two statements of King Solomon, the wisest of men. In the book of Proverbs, Shir HaShirim, he declares, Matzah isha matzah tov. He who has found a woman has found good. And then, in the book of Ecclesiastes, Kohelet, he makes a different statement where he says, and I find woman bitterer than death. How can we come to terms with these two statements of King Solomon? What is he trying to tell us? They're very contradictory. In one, man has found good, and in the other one, he finds his wife more bitter than death. So let's degloss each sentence and see what he's trying to say. So he says here, the first statement, he says, he who has found is followed directly by its object, a woman, implying that what the husband has sought and found is indeed his wife. His mind and heart focuses on her, and his conscious concern is to meet her needs and the needs of his family as opposed to his own. This is a foundation of a happy married life. So in the first statement, King Solomon is saying he is not concerned with himself. He went out to look for her. He wanted a wife. He found her. And his only concern is to make her happy, to see that all her needs are met and that she is in love and she's happy and she's well taken care of. The second verse, however, which literally reads, and I find woman more bitter than death, says, and I find bitterer than death the woman. So the last statement, if you see, it's he has found. It's talking in the past tense. This second verse, it's talking in the present tense. And the subject is obviously I find. So it is interposed between the verb find and its object, the woman. Thereby, he's implying that the man is really more concerned about himself than he is really concerned about his wife. His only preoccupation is his self-gratification, his own self. And this is really the formula to a very unhappy marriage. Although I find that Rabbi Ginsburg is basing his book mostly into teaching men how to be good husbands, this also applies to the relationship of a wife with her husband. If the wife also is self-centered and is only looking after herself, she will never be a happy wife, and her husband is going to be a nuisance. But if in herself she's worried about making her husband happy and making him feel like the king of the house, then she's going to be very happy too. So thus selflessness is the key to finding and relating to one's wife, at the level of their common soul root, the egocentric husband will be unable to achieve a genuine mutual relationship with his wife that will sweeten with time rather than grow bitter. So Rabbi Ginsburg, in his book, he's telling us the most important thing when we're looking for a spouse is not trying to make ourselves happy. We're really trying to make somebody else happy. We get married because we really want to make somebody else happy. It's not about us making ourselves happy. And ahava, the word love in Hebrew, really means to give. So to give is to love, and to love is to give. Also, another concept that comes up in this chapter is the concept that when we get married, we're really not getting married to the wrong person. We made a mistake. It was random. No. The Talmud says that before a baby is conceived, a voice comes out of heaven and says, the son of such and such is going to get married to the daughter of such and such. So Jewish thought or Jewish belief is that we are destined, we are already predisposed to marry the person we're going to marry. We'll talk about divorce later on and try to explain it, but really it's not a mistake you made. If you're in a good marriage, thank God. If you're struggling in your marriage, this partner, this person that's living with you is not a mistake. This is somebody that shares their common soul root to your soul root. There's a beautiful story that I heard many years ago. A friend told it to me, and it's about a bahar, a yeshiva boy, that is learning in a yeshiva, and in this yeshiva, his partner in learning, his fabrusa, is also an incredible guy, a beautiful boy, and this boy is very refined, he has very good character traits, he's a learner, he's serious, he's kind, he's funny. And the friend thinks, you know what, this guy is perfect for my sister. I would love if my sister would marry this boy, but the problem is this boy has a very bad hunchback. He looks very ugly. So he goes home and he's telling his parents about his fabrusa and what a wonderful man he is, and that he thinks that he really would be great for his sister. The parents say, okay, bring him home, let them meet, and we'll see. The boy comes, he meets the girl is horrified. She runs to her room, she can't even look at him because he's too ugly. And the bahar, the yeshiva boy, he understands, he's not the nicest looking guy in the world, goes to the parents and he says, you know what, I understand that your daughter's scared, that she doesn't like me. I get it, but you know what? I need to speak to her before I leave. I need her to listen to something I have to say. If she doesn't want to marry me, I'll understand it and I'll just leave her alone. But I have to say this to her before I go. So the parents say, okay, we accept, you can go. Talk to her. He goes up, he knocks on her door, and he says, I need to speak to you. I just need you to listen to something. If you don't want to marry me after what I have to say, I understand, and no hard feelings. So she comes out and he tells her, before we were going to be born, God had decreed that you were going to have a hunchback. And in reality, I said, no, it can't be. It can be that a beautiful woman has to carry a hunchback in her back. She's going to be having babies. She has to cook. She has to clean. She's going to have to work. And I can't imagine her with such a burden in her back. So he pleaded to God and he said, please, don't give the hunchback to her. I wish that you give it to me. I'll carry it for her, but let her be complete and healthy, and I'll carry the hunchback. So I was born with a hunchback, and you're born a beautiful woman. I just needed you to know this. And we have to understand this was a very special man. He was a very spiritual boy who had access to the upper realms. And the moment he said this to the girl, she said, you know what? It resonates in me. I can feel it's true. We'll marry. And they got married. and they had beautiful family, and from them came great rabbis, luminaries that brought a lot of light to the world. This concept is a major concept. Every time you get upset with your spouse, just think about it. Think it is not random. I'm not with him because it just happened, it's an accident. I'm with him because we share a common soul root. We are really one. And with this, I want to finish today, and I hope to see you next week and live a little higher. Thank you.